Good evening, everybody. Hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. Now, for the benefit of those of you who are not familiar with the channel or are watching the channel for the very first time, the reason why it is called Uncommon Sense, because here on this platform, we talk about everyday issues and we try to find logical solutions. But not everyone uses logic. For that reason, it is called uncommon sense. I just want to let everybody know that I'm currently live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. And I see we already have a comment. Good evening, Magic Mama. Thank you, mamas. Thank you very much for entering your comments in the chat. Now, of course, as always, I want to give a huge shout out to all the people who have been supporting my channel. I also want to give a huge shout out to all those who have been watching my material faithfully. And I just want to say thank you very much for all the love and support that I have received. And again, another subscriber. So right now I have 91 subscribers. So what I would like, if you have not done so, I would have really would appreciate it if you will please subscribe, like, hit the bell notification to all. So therefore, whenever I do prepare any content, you will have the opportunity to either watch it live or watch it on the playback. I just want to let everybody know that everyone is free to enter their comments in the chat. In a few minutes, I'm going to drop the link, and anyone is welcome to click on the link and join the panel. What I do ask, as always, please do not try to overtalk me. Do not try to overtalk any of the panelists. Do not disrespect me. Do not respect any of the panelists. Because what's going to happen is anyone that tries to outspeak me after getting a warning, you will be removed from the platform and you will be forever banned from appearing on this channel. And already found out Sunday that someone named Zacharias, who stated they would never appear on my platform, try to get on my platform and try to take over and basically not allow anyone to speak. And he was promptly removed. Now, before we get into the topic, I do have some sad news. One of the YouTube creators that I have been following is called The Harmony Pill. She is a young female creator who has a channel, and she airs a live call-in show on a regular basis, trying to provide a positive message for both men and women. Unfortunately, she announced today that she's going to be leaving YouTube to pursue other ventures. I just want to say, on behalf of everyone here, Harmony Pill, you will be missed, and it's a shame that you will no longer be an active voice. I do hope at some point you will return to YouTube, but I do understand. And we also have the 18th letter. Good evening, Rakeem. I just want to let everybody know that the 18th letter has his own YouTube channel. So I'm going to ask, if you have not done so, please subscribe to the channel and give a like and hit the bell notification to also whenever the 18th letter prepares any content, you have the opportunity to watch it live or catch it on the playback. Um, I'm still trying to recover from Sunday when Zacharias did his infamous presence and tried to take over. And then, lo and behold, he appeared on another platform spreading lies about me. Um, and the name of the platform he appeared on was Black Skin is Amazing. Now, I have nothing against this YouTube creator. I know he's adults, but I always thought Zacharias was biracial. I didn't know that Zacharias was ADOS. But you know what? Hey ho. All I got to say to him, Zacharias, with all the respect in the world, do yourself a favor. Get some therapy and deal with whatever issues that you have. And please take your meds. Now, the topic for tonight's episode is going to be let us bury our past. And let me explain to you what I mean by that. Many times we are faced with painful and difficult situations in our past. And sometimes it can take a while for us to recover. And unfortunately, there are people who, for whatever reason, have never are fully able to recover for multiple reasons. So tonight, I'm going to be sharing you some information that I'm going to share. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the link. And then anyone who wishes to enter the panel, they're welcome. Now, let me just read to you. Now, this is something I came across. It's an article called Love. You can't let go. 3 steps to bury the past and move on to better. Mothers want to see if their children succeed. Do they believe their love is special and will last throughout eternity? Best friends make declarations that they can weather life storms together forever, come rain, sleet, hail, marriage, children, and cross-continental relocations. We all felt a kind of certainty about our relationships that leaves no room for doubt. But sometimes the best laid plans, wrapped up in the noblest of intentions, simply don't work, and the only move we can make is to move on. A father was teaching his son how to play chess. The father says, "Son, it's your turn. What are you going to do?" The young boy said, "I don't have moves left. I have nowhere to go." Then the game is over. And I see we have someone on the panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share the disclaimer. The views of the guests who appear on the channel are not necessarily the views of the host of the channel. Any attempt to copy the material without the consent of the host, Jose Negron, of the channel Uncommon Sense for Jose Negron is prohibited. By appearing on the call, you waive your rights to your image on this channel. Some of the views which guests may hold may be considered offensive to some viewers. Those who appear on the panel who appear to be under influence of alcohol or drugs will be removed from the panel and forever banned for Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron. If you don't like the content, you can block the channel. And now,
hey, how you doing?
All right, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing okay. I just relaxing. Um, I was watching something on the food channel. Just seeing how different people cook all over the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it just
Okay.
amazing. How's everything with you?
Okay. You know, you know what? I'm still trying to recover from Sunday's live calling show when Zacharias trying to make his presence felt on my platform.
Um, yeah. I mean, I guess I was there, but I wasn't there for the entire show. I guess so. You know, I mean, Zacharias is gonna be Zacharias. That's all I got to say. Uh,
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, he had to be he had to be booted from the channel, and then he was on an Ados channel talking crap about me.
I mean, think
But
about
you
it.
know,
At
yeah,
the end of the day, you got certain people. I'm not saying for say Zacharias, but I'm saying like certain people, you know, that don't really have common sense. So it's not like
that's true.
so to me, nothing can really be a surprise to you anymore because we live in a society where people um or how should I say are nasty, don't respect opinions per se,
Yeah,
and how should I say it's just the society that we live in right now. So and and what I'm seeing like from from my own view or whatever is that certain people they're not reflective on what culture is or whatever the case may be.
mm-hmm.
So they feel like, okay, I could go and I could go and diss people and everything like that, and nothing will not be happening. But that's not going to be the
Yeah,
case.
mm-hmm.
So that's the
Well,
type of society we live in.
yeah. Which is why I think the topic "Let Us Bury the Past" is appropriate, because we have because look, we're gonna go through difficult moments. We're gonna go through painful moments, but there comes a time when we have. I'm sorry.
Trust me. Today is a painful moment for me, and I could say that I can't really bury the past, but I'm I'm actually making peace with my past, so to say,
Okay.
because today is the ninth anniversary of my mom's passing. So, and it's been a rough road. You know, certain people betray me, certain people gaslighting me, talking down on my name, and they know that they did me wrong. And certain people they want to choose sides or whatever the case may be. But at the end, I could go around and have hatred and have these people destroy me, or I could forget. I could forget about it. They could have whatever they have against me. I'm just gonna live my life. So life is too short, and I
Yeah.
had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah. Good evening, Kayfair. But you know
Good
something,
evening, Jose.
but you know something, Don Armando? The fact of
Mhm.
the matter is, you are alive, and you have a beautiful and charming wife.
Thank you.
Okay, and I'm not gonna look. It, it's gonna be 2 years that my mother passed away, and so there's no timestamp on grief.
Mm-mm. Uh,
Okay, yeah. But the best thing but the best way to honor the memory of those people is to try to apply the life lessons that they learned. And I'm sure, okay, you know what? I have a feeling that your mother left you some positive life lessons.
yes, she did.
Okay. So as long as you apply those life lessons, your mother lives in your heart.
Amen.
And you know what? And I don't mean to, to pry or anything like that. It's just that I just wanted to encourage you as you deal with um with your grief.
Yeah.
So, but I'm sure. Okay, I'm sharing an article that I came across regarding how to bury the past, and sometimes it could be hard. Okay,
Hmm.
but the choice is either cling to the past or
Right.
try to take baby steps if necessary to go forward.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to continue. Okay. Now, they free themselves by using three simple steps. You can. These steps are easy and only complicated if you choose to make them so. We're not put on this planet to waste time lamenting the pain of the past. When we make mistakes or things we don't turn out as planned, we suffer because that's what human beings do. We get hurt, we feel the bite, and move on. If there was a gatekeeper of life collecting tolls for the mistakes and disappointments of our life that we endure, he would collect the toll once and send us on our way. Yet many of us want to pay the toll twice, even three, four times. It's time to end the cycle and outdated way of thinking. Now, these are some steps. Number one, accepting responsibility for the role we play in a relationship, failure, or disappointment. And let me just bring in the intro of Barikwa.
Hey, how you doing, Don José? Hey, Don Armando.
Hey,
What's going?
introvert
Good
boricua,
evening.
¿cómo está?
Estamos aquí, bien, bien. Todo bien con ustedes.
I'm all
Same.
right.
That's good. That's good. Yes, yes. I mean, I saw the title of your live, and I know that to a degree I have to kind of apply it to myself. It's a bit soon still, but I know that I eventually will have to do something like that. I mean, that's why I have a ribbon up. I mean, because I am grieving. It's a process. It's something that's gonna take a while. I mean, and Don Jose, you were just mentioning uh, about when your mom passed, and I'm sure that it is still a process for you. It's not something that you can completely forget. I mean, so it's
Yeah.
still it's still vulnerable. I mean, um, yeah. Uh, I can barely articulate it. It's still it's still painful. It's still kind of like I'm carrying that load and the sadness
Trust,
that comes with it. Shout out to
trust
the
me,
18
introvert.
letter.
Yeah.
Shout out to the 18 letter as well. I
Yeah.
mean,
Uh, mhm. Go ahead.
I was saying introvert. Like, I know you lost and everything like that. Today it marks 9 years of the passing of my mother. So
Yeah,
after a while, it's a step. Certain people were trying to tell me, "Oh, get over it," and everything like that. But you don't understand. Like, you can't go around and tell a person, "Oh, get over a loss" and everything like that if you never been in
no,
that person's shoes.
no. It's not their place. It's not their place. They need to understand that when it comes to somebody's own parent, somebody's own mother, nobody has a right to come up to that person and tell them get over it. They're out of line for saying that.
Yeah.
They're out of line.
Well,
Period. Mhm.
as
And
I,
but then
as I, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
un concepto yo voy a decir, introvert boricua.
Sí.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Even though you're grieving and everything like that, I I'm just telling you of what I had to learn from the get go. That
Mm-hmm.
if you're grieving and everything like that, always try to make sure that you have your head on a swivel because I didn't have my head on a swivel And this is what happened to me. Before I got with my wife and everything, I had a chick that cheated on me. I was about to uh, due to that, after 3 months after my mom passed,
Mm-hmm.
I was about to either go to jail or prison because it was actually wartime in the streets,
Mm.
and it was a whole bunch of drama that actually followed behind that. And I saw people who I thought was in my best benefit turn out to be a liability. So all I can say is that just keep your head on a swivel, and if I don't know what religion or if you do follow religion, but
Mhm.
all I can say is pray, because that's what's gonna get you
Yeah.
through it. I'm telling you from my personal experience.
I hear you. I hear you. No, you're right. You're right. I mean, I don't practice. I don't practice religion per se, but I do have a commitment to be the best person that I can be for myself and for others and the people that I care about, and to actually try to do good towards others and trying to keep it all positive and trying to extend and share positive energy with others. And if I can, if there is somebody that a fellow person, a fellow human being that needs something, needs some help, and I can do something for them, then that's what I'm gonna do. I mean, I don't need religion to tell me to be a good person. There are people that do need somebody to tell them to be a good person, and they need
Right.
religion to tell them that to be a good person towards others. I try my best to be a good person towards others, but I don't need religion to tell me that. That's just how I was raised.
Got you.
Hmm.
Okay. I just want to read a couple comments from KFIT. You got following, I think it's the 18th leather. I just want to acknowledge the 18th leather on the panel. Um, like I said before, there is no time stamp on grief. And actually, I did had an earlier stream how to deal with grief with Tim Delgado, and I also did a stream regarding what not to say to a person who's grieving. So
Yes.
I would recommend people before they enter a comment that they watch those streams. Good evening, Rakim.
Hey, shout out to my YouTube dad, Jose Negron. Thank you for having me on your platform. Shout out to Don Armando, and shout out to my
Thank
boy
you.
Bert Boricua.
Mhm.
Hey, what's going on? 18th. What's happening?
Nothing much, my guy. Nothing much. Currently I'm working. Just wanted to come in and touch bases with you guys for a few minutes, and I definitely understand what you were just speaking about. Ramon and Don, like uh, especially dealing, with the loss of a loved one, like I'm still dealing with, my grandmother's passing, and it's been 2 years, and I haven't really had the time to properly grieve due to, working, and it just it hits you like a ton of bricks. Some days you're okay, some days you're not. Like, and you find yourself reminiscing and having flashbacks of memories and thinking about
Yeah.
the different things that person told you, and like because like
Mm.
everything that's good in my life I associated with my grandmother. I mean, ever since I was a child, she brought nothing but good. When I saw her, I knew I was going to have a great time. When I saw her, I knew she was going to be there to buy me things and teach me stuff and take me to different places and stuff like that. So she had been a part of my life ever since I was 3 years old, 3 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And just and the type of world that we live in, people people lack compassion, people lack empathy, everyone is out for self. You only have a few people that unconditionally love you in this world. And sometimes it's so rough out here. You can have parents that don't really care about you. So when you get those people, whether they be your parents, whether they be close relatives, you really hold that to heart, especially if you're young or you're immature minded at a earlier date and you took that for granted, you start experiencing deep regret as you get older, and your eyes are open to the way that the world is, and how to how people are out here.
Right,
Okay.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, and Don Jose, you did your stream about the subject, and I did my own stream about in response, which was kind of like it had only been a month since my loss, so it's just that your stream was so timely. The timing was impeccable. I told you about it. So yeah, I had to do kind of like a response. It wasn't like a real response. I was actually just to second what you were saying. We talked about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, like I said before, I mean, there is no timestamp on grief. And one thing that we all share in common that we have all lost loved ones. And and we're all still dealing with the grief process to various degrees.
Right.
Okay. But I understand, Ramon, in your case, why you were respond with the grief process in the way that you did, which is perfectly understandable. Okay, and people need to be a little bit open minded, um, and just bear. And sometimes we meanwhile, but we say the stupidest things when we trying to console someone who's grieving.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I was just sharing some things that I came across an article. Now, the first thing is to accept responsibility for the role we play in a relationship failure or disappointment. The second thing, identifying the great lesson learned as a result of the relationship failure or disappointment. And third, incorporating that lesson in your life in a meaningful way that makes a difference for you. Now, how would either one of you wish to respond?
Well, I just wanted to touch on one thing that you just said, Jose, um, a couple seconds ago about people not knowing what to say to people that grieve, because I've experienced similar situations like that too. I've had friends, people just don't they just don't understand, and in some cases, like for instance, I had one friend say something to me about the situation, and I had to explain to him, like after my grandmother passed, I had to explain to him, I'm like, you don't understand what it was like. You don't know that experience. It's easy. It may be easy for you to say, like that, your grandmother would have wanted this for you and different things like that. And he said, I'm not going to get into what he said, but I'm like, you don't know how I'm feeling right now at this particular time, because you have both of your parents. You have both of your parents. You grew up with your mother and your father. I pretty much had neither, so that was all that I had. So and a lot of people, they don't have the foresight, or they just don't have the foresight to be able to put themselves in other people's shoes and
Hmm.
understand another person's experience. Some people are just so tunnel vision to when it comes to their experience, that these are the same people that if they experience anything that's out of the norm for them, they don't know how to handle it, or they react, or they have a completely full, a full complete breakdown. So
Hmm.
I was explaining that to him, because like I'm like, you had your dad to teach you, how to drive stick shifts, how to drive and everything. I was like, I had to learn everything on my own. Like even
Hmm.
with driving, I had to buy my own car and teach myself how to drive.
Mm.
So I was just like, you don't get what that's like. You don't understand that. And you'll
Hmm.
be amazed the type of people out here that are like that too.
Yeah. Anybody else wish to share?
I
Well,
mean,
yeah.
well,
No, go on, go on.
I have to say is that what what the 18th letter had to say. I mean, it's facts because during my time of grieving and stuff, I had so many people trying to tell me, "Oh, why the heck you doing this? Or why the heck you doing that?" And then the thing is, though, half these people, you could tell that either they didn't know what to really say, or they just didn't really care about you, and and certain people that are on your side, they know what you're going through. But then when you got certain people who don't, they'll try to tell you, oh, they'll try to tell you things just to make you feel better. But in reality, like in the long run, you will actually see that that person is not there for you, or in certain instances, that person is trying to just brush off your feelings. So therefore, they could be superior, whatever the case may be, during your time of sadness. I have seen that, so that's all I got to say.
Okay. I just want to acknowledge that Hazel is in the chat. Hazel, if you want to join us, by all means, the link is there. Okay.
Hey,
Um,
Hazel.
Yes. Really quick. Hey, Hazel, what's going on? Um, she can come up if she wants to, right?
yes, of
Shout out
Yeah.
course.
to Hazel. Shout out to
Yes, yes.
Hazel. How you doing,
So
Hazel?
I just want to kind of like reiterate what I was mentioning a few minutes back when it comes to people saying certain things. They think that they are helping the situation, and they're not helping at all. I mean, there are people that really think that they can just come up to somebody who is in a situation, who is grieving, and trying to tell them what to do, like what Armando was saying, like get over it, something like that. And to reiterate, no, that's not for them to say. They're out of line. This may be the same people that they have their parents still alive, so they don't know what it feels like. They can't place themselves in one's shoes who is grieving, so they need to keep quiet on certain things. Like, okay, keep the advice to yourself. Maybe on this one, I mean, if you know that somebody's grieving, like, don't be trying to impose your point of view on somebody who's grieving, who is not all there when emotionally they're vulnerable, and you come at them trying to tell them what to do. And say, no. uh, on something like this, it's like, nah, it might be better to for them to keep their mouth shut.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak on what the introvert Bodiqua just said. I just had a little brief story I would like to share. During the time, shout out to Golden Goddess. Shout out to Gigi.
Golden
How you
Goddess, what's
doing?
up?
During the time when my grandmother was still alive, I remember I have a uncle that was in my family, which is her brother. And you know, my grandmother at the time that she was alive, she still dealt with the grief of my father passing, which was her only child. Um, this uncle, I never forget. I had a conversation with him, and he would tell me how my grandmother should got over, my father passing. Which I spoke about this previously, but I never like my father. Unfortunately, he was murdered. He was killed when I was 3 years old, and
Oh dear.
this is the same guy that told my grandmother she should, get over it. And at that time, he was only 21 years old, and and that was her only child she had, and she loved him dearly. And this was a man that had multiple children. Well, he was in a situation where one of my cousins passed from an asthma attack, which, due to the emergency when it had transpired, I was the person that took him to the hospital, drove all the way from the south side to the west side to take him there. and you know, did what I could to help him. You know, gave him, you know, anything that he needed. And I found out, you know, unfortunately, my cousin had passed away, and he was heartbroken. He was heartbroken, and God rest her soul. But I never forget when my grandmother told him, you know, we're gonna help you get through with this. But now you're able to see how it was being in my shoes, because you know the situation is a terrible situation, and you got us to help you for support. And I believe he took that to heart, because in that situation he has 4 children, now he has 3. So you can only imagine how she felt only having one, and that person, you know, being no longer here at such a young age, and not due to an asthma attack. You know, and people don't think about things like that, you know.
Okay. Before I just want to let Golden Goddess know. Golden Goddess, I want to let you know that you're now a moderator on my channel, and I just want to say, okay, I'm sorry, it's a commercial break, so I'm going to ask you, if you're not done so, please subscribe to to Golden Goddess's channel. If you have not done so, please subscribe to K-Fit. If you have not done so, please subscribe to the Introvert Boricua and the 18th letter. I apologize for the commercial break. And you're quite welcome, Gigi, for the wrench. Please continue.
Guys? Oh.
Okay.
Oh
Well,
yeah,
you know
that's
what?
all I
You know
had
what?
to say.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I didn't know if you were done with it. I mean, hey,
Okay.
sorry about your pops. I didn't know that. I didn't know that had happened to him.
Yeah. I just want to read to you a quote that was attributed to someone named C.S. Lewis, who was a religious leader. But I think, considering what we're talking about, it's appropriate. You can't go back and change the beginning, but you can start where you are and change the ending.
Yes, C.S. Lewis is or was the author to the Chronicles of Narnia. They have made a couple of movies out of them. I mean, they came out. A couple of the movies came out when like a couple of years, a short time after the Lord of the Rings movie became a big deal, and the Lord of the Rings was all the rage. It was sometime after there was an adaptation of a couple of his books, because he wrote also like fantasy books. But you could see kind of like the religious themes in them. Like, for example, in Chronicles of Narnia, there is this lion, this talking lion that is basically kind of like an allegory for Jesus. I mean, so yeah, he is or was a religious person. So
Okay.
mhm.
First of all, Gigi, thank you very much for making me a moderator on your channel. And I'm just going to read what Kfit said. Some of my end will do the same, Hazel Green. Now, I'm
Yeah,
going to share with you.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm going to share with you another quote. Never be a prisoner of your past. It was just a lesson, not a life sentence.
No, definitely, it's important to remember the past and take note from it and learn from it, so that one can have a better future. Um, you have to know where you come from to know where you're going.
Yes.
So, but the true, you can't let that hold you back.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let the past hold you back. I mean, take note from it, learn from it, but move forward. Do move forward.
Yes, I agree. Um, with the
And I
other
absolutely agree with that.
Mhm.
I agree
Okay,
with that.
okay. I'm going to share another quote. Do not let the past steal your present. Your past has not defined, deterred, or defeated you. It has only strengthened who you are today.
Yeah, yeah, true. It's kind of like the previous quote where you take from the past what makes you the better person, or what makes you more fit to take on what the future holds. So yeah, it's a little bit kind of like in the same vein, the teaching of it.
Yeah. I just want to acknowledge the fact that so far this stream has 9 likes. There are currently 4 people viewing the stream, and I just gained another subscriber. Thank you very much. Let's see now. Can the
Yeah, because
guys on the yeah?
I don't know who she's referring to. Type in the chat. What?
Okay, she says, can the guys on the panel type in the chat so I can sub? I guess no. She's referring to those who also who have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
All right. I mean, my channel is good, but I haven't really put any content yet. So I'm actually in the crux of trying to put content. So my content is not gonna really be okay. It's gonna be geared towards the urban movement or whatever the case may be. But I'm just in the developing phase right now of actually making content.
Okay.
Yes, the same as well. Currently, I don't really have any content on my channel, just a couple of live streams here and there. And I definitely would type it in, GG, but unfortunately, from my phone, I'll have to log out, then type it into the chat, then come back on, which I'll type it in towards the end of the stream.
You know
Yeah.
what? I can type it out for you, Rakim. Just give me a moment.
I'm gonna put the link to mine. I'm on it right now.
Okay, I just entered Rakim, the name of your channel in the link. So and
But
yes, go ahead.
no, I was just going to say, I just wanted to speak on the statement that you just made about, not allowing your past to, pretty much dictate your future, and what my boy Ramon said about learning from it. One thing that the past have taught me is to, of course, have discernment and be able to study a person's actions. And just because a person is close to you or somebody that you've known for a long time doesn't mean that they have your best interests at heart. And I learned that just from even various relatives within my family that had an underlying jealousy that always wanted to be around just for the sake of seeing if they can actually get something that they can gain from. And once you understand that, you're able to practice discernment with who you keep for company, and you're able to study a person's character to see if that's the type of person that could potentially either be a good friend, or or a good relative that actually has your best interest in heart, and somebody that's worth you know uh, you showing loyalty to as well.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. That's right.
That is true.
Totally agree.
That is true. I just want to share another quote now. Remember how far you've come.
That is true.
Not just how
I
far.
just want to share another quote now. Um,
Okay. I'm gonna wait until.
What was that? I didn't hear your quote.
Okay, remember how far you have gone, not just how far you have to go. You are not where you want to be, but neither you are where you used to be.
All right.
So, let me just share a couple of secrets. So, what I would do is like, let's say I'm going to prepare a topic. So, what I will do is I'll do like a search in Google, and then I'll come up with a couple of sources. What I will do is I would copy it as a tweet on Twitter, and then I will just go to Twitter to share the material that I have copied. I'm not saying all of you should do this. It's just that's one way I share material. Now I know people can use Twitter for crazy and stupid reasons. I prefer to use Twitter for something constructive.
Yeah. Well, Twitter is kind of one of those things that I really don't get into because it's too. I don't know. It's too much nonsense and too much bickering over there.
I
So
mean,
I just don't bother with it. I mean, it can be useful if used properly, if used in a constructive way, like you said. I mean, it could be very useful, I'm sure, but there is it's kind of like a cesspool of bickering and people going at it with each other. Yeah, so I don't bother with it.
I
I
mean,
understand.
talking about Twitter, introvert Boricua. Back when I was like in my super ignorant phase, all I used to do was okay. Like I used to use Twitter as a promotion. Actually, you just this famous celebrities. They happen to come and respond back to you. You diss them and everything like that. But that was like around 2010. So when I use Twitter, I just maybe post a picture or two and stuff like that. Which I don't really use Twitter unless it's used either concerning Dominican Republic or where I live at Philadelphia. So I really use Twitter as news because if you actually look at it, nobody really looking at news or anything like that since everything is actually on social media. So sometimes social media has accurate news and sometimes it's just fake news. But the thing is though, all these outlets, Twitter, Facebook, um, all the other stuff, like it's like you could use social media, but you have to control the narrative. If you're gonna go and let certain people come up with your negativity and all this stuff, and then it's getting to the point that certain people they have nothing to do because with social media or anything like that, they let it become like a crux of their own downfall or anything like that. Talking about how should I say social media downfall. I was watching a show on Netflix, and they were talking about how this guy went and he actually was calling SWAT on different people, and he actually went and called SWAT on another person's house that did not live there at the time or just moved out, and due to that, an innocent man got shot by the police. So behind that man, it was actually and the guy who went up and called the SWAT. Remind you, the guy went up and just called the police SWAT agency or whatever, and this was like in I think it was not Oklahoma, Missouri. I think it was Kansas City, Missouri. And this guy went up and just called SWAT from from a from a pay from a cell phone that he actually used on the public library internet, and got this innocent man killed just because of how should I say the gamers and everything like that.
Yeah.
So they were doing that to each other. Say, oh, I could call the SWAT team on you, and whatever. So they were doing that on each other. So
Yeah.
therefore,
Oh, sure.
to go back to the Twitter and everything like that, you just have to know what you're gonna use your social media tool for, and don't let social media control you.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Right. Right. No. I mean, that's a part that one really has to put it down at times and not get carried away with it, because I don't know how real uh, social media beef can get, and how it can end up in tragedy. I mean, it's gonna spill out of the of the Twitterverse, so to speak, and it can end up with somebody getting harmed, or even killed, and nobody really wants that. And so, when it comes to social media, one has to be very careful uh, how one uses it. I mean, again, it can be used for good, but it can be used to harm somebody, as you described. That's kind of like that was hella extreme, man.
I mean, yeah, because the gamers, I could actually say
Mm-hmm.
that there's a subculture with gamers that
Yeah,
that some of them they work, some of them they don't, but some of them they actually lack on personal interactions and everything like that,
oh, okay, yeah,
and that's where I believe that the incel culture actually derived from, because you had a whole bunch of people that that they're into their games or whatever the case may be. They have no social interaction. They
yeah.
don't know how to per se talk to a woman or anything like that. So when you by yourself and you don't have personal interaction, I'm talking about, albeit friends or people that actually could be encouraging to you or whatever the case may be, they they actually go and they talk, and they're only friends
Mm-hmm.
or people who are like themselves, that in real life they don't really have friends. They
Yeah.
just work or whatever the case may be, and then they feel an entitlement saying that women supposed to go with them and whatever. When the fact is, they're so they're so used to their surroundings, they so of being an incel, that they haven't stepped the foot out, or they just feel warped, and then warped in their own mentality or whatever, that they don't step out to the real world and experience things.
No,
Okay.
that's what I was about to say. You were referring to the incels, and incels can be incels are dangerous. I don't remember in which other live stream I was trying to say that. I think it was on Harmonies, because she was being harassed, and usually somebody who goes on and on harassing women, these are guys that can't do any better. They don't know how to actually interact with women in a positive way that doesn't involve harassment and and being a bully and things like that. It's very primary school. It's kind of like
I
in
mean,
primary school.
I mean,
Excuse me. Excuse me. I don't mean to cut it. I just want to acknowledge the fact that Brianna is on the chat, and unfortunately, um, the How Many Pill was on today, and she made it official. She's leaving YouTube.
oh
Yeah,
wow,
yeah. I saw something about that. Well, apparently she has other plans. I don't know if the harassing that she was going through had to do with it. It could possibly be. I mean, I don't think she specifically said that it was, but apparently she has other plans, and she might not be on YouTube. We'll see. We'll see about that. There are people that say that they're leaving or they're gonna quit something, and later on they could come back. I mean, we'll see about about her. But yeah, it could very well have been the the fact that she was being harassed. I mean, and that
Okay.
maybe shook her, and
Yeah.
she felt she couldn't do it anymore. Yeah.
Okay. I just want to acknowledge the fact there are 9 people viewing this stream, and it's gotten 10 likes so far.
Yes.
And I just want to say thank you very much for all your support.
Okay.
Yeah,
If you wanna, okay. I wanted to
yeah, it's called the name of the person. I'm sorry. The name of the
go.
person is called the Homily Pill. I'm sorry. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. She was just getting started on YouTube a few months back, but apparently there were like people harassing her, not too different from what you guys were dealing with. That you had to step out of YouTube, but apparently she is gonna be quitting for good. I don't know. I don't know about that, but yeah, that's what she's saying. Yeah, she has other plans, and she's not gonna be on YouTube anymore.
And you know what? And it's a crying shame, and that's why I did the stream last week regarding why people are hating on the female YouTube creators because they have a lot of crap thrown their way, and all because you have some incels that cannot deal with rejection and things of that nature.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like for example, right? And you got the racist YouTubers and everything like that. And racist and race TikTokers or whatever the case may be. I'm just saying for whatever. You got certain people who they be, oh yeah, I'm a racer or anything like that or whatsoever. And then you got certain people who go so hard or try to or like I guess in your past post last week, that I learned that this idiot that I had problems with
Mhm.
within the past likes to attack married couples. So
Yeah.
since he knew that I was married, he went up and was trying to say all these nasty things towards me and my wife. I went up and I cursed him out on live. You could actually see it on Bider's channel. I lost my cool, and I don't really care if I lost my cool because at the end of the day, you don't go around and disrespect a man's wife like that. So me personally, at the end of the day, these insults or YouTubers that really are messed up in the mind. It, I mean, everybody could have a voice on to say whatever. The only thing is though, we don't have to be listening to them because at the end of the day, you got certain people that they have their YouTube channel and they think that they're the president of whatever. But the fact is, they're only important in YouTube. They're not important in real life. And you got to understand that half these people who are YouTubers or anything like that, they want to talk about okay that they do not like certain groups or whatever. Okay, so remind a lot. You got to understand certain things with these YouTubers. They're not really getting the ones who are not top tier YouTubers. Don't really have bodyguards, and they want to spew all this nonsense, whether it will be racist or whatever the case may be to make another person feel down or discriminate against another person. You got to understand that at the end of the day, after they put it out there, they don't have bodyguards or anything like that. And sooner or later, either they might be victim of violence, or if they protect themselves, they might have to be facing a charge. So it could go either way.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Yeah. There are too many YouTube tough guys that run their mouths thinking that it cannot affect them in real life, that there couldn't be consequences. I mean, that's why I really don't try to get on a platform and try to go out anyone and try to get into some kind of beef. Even if I disagree with them, then let's be adults about it and learn to disagree.
Exactly.
Respect
Exactly.
disagreement. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like for example, like before StreamYard or anything like that of that matter, I'm not really, how should I say, I am social media savvy, but I'm not really that savvy as far as okay, I could go and try to project myself or my views with people because I guess I haven't really mastered that. But I'm saying like whenever I talk to a lot of people or whatever the case may be, I just want to make sure that I have more of a live presence and everything like that. Because when I actually do like a YouTube live or anything like that, only maybe 4 people will actually show whatever. So I would like to learn how to actually gain a presence or whatever the case may be, because most of the time I could do like, okay, I could do an Instagram live or whatever the case may be, but then if it's like, but then if it's not 100 people, I don't really see no point in staying online for like 2 or 4 hours,
Mhm.
whatever the case may be, because nobody's really coming unless if I'm talking to somebody else. I'm not gonna be like, hey, how you doing? I don't like everybody and everything like that. You know, I'm gonna go freak out for what? You get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
There's certain stuff that I don't really see a point in doing like a YouTube by myself, unless if I'm actually putting out information or try to say something which could actually help somebody else. So my thing is, if a person is gonna go stay there all day being angry and cursing out whatever, cursing out a person on whatever view it is and everything like that, and you just standing and you could make like a 2 hour video just doing that. For me, I think that's just a waste of time. With 2 hours, I could actually just go and eat at a restaurant and eat a nice steak and just call it a day.
Yeah. No, there are people. I don't know how they do it. I don't know how they do it. There are people that get on a YouTube live stream and they be sitting there for like 5, 6, 7, 8 hours and just talking about the same one subject or the same one other person that they don't like. And they make a whole day long stream out of it. I don't know how do they do that.
I'm,
I don't know.
that's why I like, for example, right? I'll talk, I've been like in the clubhouse space and everything like that, right? And you know, I just stay there, I talk a little bit, and I'm out. I don't make a I don't make like a 2 hour, 3 hour. And most of the times at first, you know, when Clubhouse app came, it was like a whole bunch of people talking. So me personally, unless if the conversation is edifying or anything like that,
Yeah.
let's say for example, a guy who is actually controversial in Clubhouse, whack no 100. So I can't go around and stay in, if I'm not getting money off of it, I don't see why should I talk. So I don't see how this guy who was like a millionaire, right? He
Hmm.
actually go and talk like maybe for maybe 5 or 6 hours on how he disrespected people or disrespected the late great Nipsey Hussle
Hmm.
on various things, and how he's bashing other people or talking with gang members that don't like him. They was like, "Oh, we're gonna catch the fade," but it never really happens. So my thing is that why are you gonna have all this drama? We're just gonna go talk to you and everything like that. When the fact is that if you really actually seen each other in the street, it'll be on. But yet you don't have to go and project it on social media where everybody say, "Oh, you do this," because what a lot of people don't understand that people could just put it out there. Sooner or later, maybe 3 or 4 years down the line, people might remember what you just actually said about their dead relatives or whatever
Yeah.
the case may be. So my thing is that people have to be, if you're gonna go do something reckless, at least do the thing in person. Don't go and put it out on social media, because at the end of the day, we as a people, black or Latino, and we actually doing this social media thing where we actually getting at our ops or getting at people that we don't like. At the end of the day, if we use a whole bunch of curse words and everything like that, and we don't actually disagree as adults, but yet we're babbling like children, dissing people's mothers, or we're saying we're gonna meet up and fight and everything. At the end of the day, if you're gonna go and put that energy out there, don't be surprised when you have to when you in a court of law or anything like that, because whatever case that you might do or whatever you might say up on Clubhouse or maybe even on YouTube could actually be used against you because you put it out there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Facts.
Now,
No,
now,
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. Now regarding my platform, I mean, only one time did we did a stream that was over 3 hours long, and that's when we dealt with toxic femininity, and of course, none of the ladies were brave enough to enter the platform to give
Uh,
rebuttal. Okay,
no, and
but
the thing is, uh-huh.
and the fact of the matter is, it really didn't start to go shoot upward until the second hour, and then between the second hour and the third hour, that was the busiest time. You had a lot of interaction and what have you, because I don't believe in 5 8 hour streams. Most of my streams are usually under 2 hours, and there's a reason why. First of all, people have lives. Okay, there are people that actually work, and the fact of the matter is, if people are going to give something that they can never get back, which is their time, to listen to me speak and to listen to the other panelists speak, let us talk about something that's actually educational, that's useful, that's something that's edifying. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I see we're going to be blessed with the presence of Gigi soon. But
Yes.
I mean, that's the whole purpose of my stream. And I know that when it comes to like mature educational content, it grows at the snail's pace because there's no
Yeah.
ratchetly or craziness or what have you. But that's not me. First of all, my name is attached to this platform. So I don't want to do anything, something crazy, stupid, and then I get the reputation for what have you. So that's what, and I want to provide a safe environment for everyone to speak.
Yes, yes, yeah. Trying to keep it positive. Positive. It's just that it's just that there are those that they think that the beef is only gonna stay on YouTube, and they don't understand that, like Armando was saying, somewhere down the line, somebody might actually have more of a long memory, and they'll remember what somebody said when they were running their mouth, thinking that there were not gonna be any consequences, and they have forgotten about it, and they think they're gonna be fine, and then they get hit with reality, literally, if they're not beating their asses. I mean,
Yeah. I
so
mean,
yeah, people can be reckless. You can't be reckless with it.
yes. Let me just read another quote, a famous quote. The past is dead and buried, but I know that buried things have a way of rising to the surface when one least expect them to.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So, like I said, I like to get, you see, there are times where I may be the only one talking. So I make sure I have enough material so at least I can keep it going. And usually I can keep it going to about an hour. After
Yeah.
that, it gets to be a bit of a challenge because I am not a person of many words.
Yeah, it's the same with me. I mean, I'm not. There are people that have the gift of gab, that they can sit up on their platform, and it's like you're listening to a radio show, and they have that gift of keeping engagement, keeping an audience listening, and they can talk by themselves, and they can go from one subject to one subject, and well. Maybe it's because they are fairly organized with it, and they might write some things down, and they may have some bullet points to as an outline for what they're going to be talking about, which is probably what I should do. But I myself, when you hear me talking, everything is come straight from the brain. I mean, I don't have anything written down. But I do have a couple of streams that that are a little bit longer, and like on my older channel, uh, I do have. I'm looking at it right now, and I have one live stream. The very first live stream, actually, that is almost 3 hours. I surprised myself. I mean, that was back in, I think it was in December. I think you remember, Rakim. I couldn't do kind of like a panel at that time because I wasn't set up for it yet. But I was able to get the 18th letter to join in using OBS. I wasn't using StreamYard at all. But that one was like 2 hours and 50 minutes, which surprised me. But after that, I have been using StreamYard, and I have another live stream also with the 18 letter and you, Jose, in which we were talking about self protection, which is something that eventually I'm gonna have to touch on it again. So that's something that I have in mind. But that's because I'm interacting. I'm interacting with someone else. I'm interacting with a panelist. I'm interacting with the chat. So it helps me keep it going and having something to say. But there are people that are good at just sitting on their platform and just talk and maybe look at the chat here and there, but they can do a show by themselves, and good for them, because it's a gift. It's a gift to be able to talk and elaborate for a long period of time, which is something that I can't do it. I can't do it. I need a little help. That's why I'm always trying to get somebody to join me if I do a live stream. So because it helps. It helps when I want to have a guest, a panelist, and all.
I mean, yeah, because like right now, Introvert Boricua, like within the rap, Dominican rap or Puerto Rican rap community, right now that there's a big beef that's actually arising right now, because I don't know the details of it. I'm just saying it right now. It's between Tali Goya and Anuel. I don't know happened what happened between those two individuals, but I know for a fact that I'm seeing a lot of memes with 24 stacks, who is with Tally, or I guess with formerly with Tally. I don't know what the heck it is, but now they're trying to say that 24 stacks is against Tally. I don't know what it is. I'm just putting it out there, but it looks like it's going to be a big problem in New York. That's all I'm going to say, and it's due to social media or whatever the case may be. So my thing is that what that goes back to what I said about social media. It could actually be a dangerous thing when you actually posting your whole business out there, your contracts and everything like that, for that matter. And to go back to what you're saying, Introvert Boricua, I mean, you got certain people who have their own gift of gab, but to me, if I'm a working man and everything like that, I don't see, unless if I'm getting monetarily paid for it,
Yeah.
why I'm gonna be sitting there like, yeah, I'm a Republican, and I don't like people, and I heard my missing teeth, but also in there I miss my moonshine, that in that kind of
No,
way.
but
So I mean,
uh-huh.
so in that way, I mean, like, okay, if I'm gonna put something out there funny, okay, but then I'll have to go around with a whole bunch of caricatures to keep the person engaged, and I don't feel like actually doing that, because unless if I'm getting paid for it, I don't see
No,
why I'm
but
going to stay in there.
that's why a lot of there are people that sit up on YouTube and they're monetized, so they can get the super chats. So to a degree, some of them are getting paid because they put up they do the live stream and they might be talking by themselves, but they are monetized, so they got donations via super chats. So some of them, they are getting a little something when it comes to money.
Yeah, I agree. But my thing is that, okay, I guess I'm trying to find out with that spectrum on how to do it. But
Yes.
in that spectrum and stuff, when I came here, it was actually under Radical Latino and Fighter.
Mhm.
So I'm not, I'm still like, a little bit ignorant about certain stuff. And then what's funny is that certain people they now want to say, okay, this is the manosphere, this is the Latino sphere, this is the Dominican sphere. I'm like, okay, what is all to me? I'm 39 years old. And I never heard of Dominican sphere and everything like that. To me,
No.
I think that to me, I'm just starting to think that when people actually use fear, like into certain stuff that has meaning that okay Afro Americans or anything like that, it's like
Mhm.
for some reason I don't know why, I just detect a sense of bull crap behind that. I don't know if it's just me, but I'm just saying from my experiences on StreamYard and certain people's like, you're not part of this sphere or anything like that. Why are you using sphere?
Uh,
Because first of all, talking about when I was growing up, we was like, okay, it was Latinidad or you were African American. It was none of this sphere nonsense. But to me, I don't know. Maybe I'm ignorant about the sphere concept. So maybe somebody could actually educate me on that. But as people using sphere and attaching it to words and everything like that, I'm like, why are you using sphere when back in the days, I'm talking about 60s, 70s, 80s, nobody ever used sphere to describe themselves or describe what they or describe their culture or whatever the case may be. So I'm
right.
still confused by why people using sphere. I don't get it.
Uh,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah. I think
I'll okay.
it,
I would try to explain it. When you have people, like for example, when talking about the manosphere, that's referring to men. If you're talking about the golden sphere, you're talking about aspects of the biracial and multiracial community. So it's
All
kind
right.
it's kind of like it's kind of like a sense of identity. And I created a new sphere for myself called the golden sphere. People who are in love of cold weather.
no. Well, that's you. You speak for yourself. You're gonna be very lonely in that cold ass sphere. That's what I will call it, the cold ass sphere, because that's what you like. I mean, you like you like that polar bear
I've already
weather.
I've already got the movement for you to combat that, Ramon. You got to come back with the island sphere.
The island sphere. The island. Yeah, hell yeah. Warm weather, tropical weather, beautiful beaches. I mean, beautiful sunsets, weather, just rain. It's like nice warm weather, beautiful beaches, and rain alternating between the two. But that's it. No cold.
Okay.
No cold as
Good
well.
night. Good night.
Excuse me.
Good night, Kefir.
I just wanted to say something. K-Fit, if it's possible, if you can drop your email information within the chat, I would love to do a collaboration with you on my channel.
Oh,
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say,
Okay.
guys.
Okay.
Okay.
yeah. The only sphere I think I'm gonna create is like, hey, I guess concerning urban music, the urban music sphere.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I just created a sphere. That's it.
Yeah. No, it's because apparently it has to do with the internet, and apparently it may have started when it comes to the manosphere, because the manosphere is something that has been going on for about 15 years or so. If you look it
Yes,
up,
I
like,
heard that.
yeah, it started by this man. His last name is Johnson. The manosphere. I forget his first name. He calls himself President Johnson, but that's referring to him kind of like the one of the first people that started the whole thing. He's a white guy, but in the manosphere they have other people, um, kind of like the likes of Rollo Tomasi, and Kevin Samuels was considered to be one of them, and Donovan Sharp. So it's a few different guys. And from the whole sphere thing, then there was the woman sphere, or the other spheres that we're hearing about.
Yeah, because when I was talking about my story, whatever, and you have your YouTube haters, trying to tell me about my identity or whatever the case may be. It was like, oh, I never heard this in the Dominican sphere. I'm like, that like to me, I never heard that until that person said. I'm like, wait a minute,
Well,
there's a Dominican
I'm,
sphere.
A
I'm
Dominicans,
assuming I've never.
something. This is a new one on me, and I actually dated Dominican women, so it's like a Dominican spirit.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like a Dominican sphere. I'm like, come on. That's what I was like. Hold up. I can
Uh,
understand that certain Dominicans don't
uh-huh.
consider me as a Dominican because of the way I talk or whatever the case may be,
Uh,
or my physical features. But when somebody's trying to tell you, "Oh, you're not a part of the Dominican sphere," I'm like, okay, but guess what? If I'm not Dominican or if I'm not Latino per se, why do I have a Spanish last name, Robles? Right? So a lot of people could not even answer in that aspect.
mhm.
So therefore, what they do is they try to gaslight, or when you tell an accurate information, they try to gaslight or try to put out a wrong information. And to them, they want to try to fit the narrative, like, oh, you're lying. But when the fact is, you was telling the truth all the time, but yet they don't want to understand. They just want to gaslight the public on what you actually said.
But
So
those are the types that wanna tell you about you when they don't know you. There are people that have that audacity to try to lecture other people's about their own identity when they don't know what they're talking about. I mean, I
I
have
mean, I mean, yeah, because that's why. Well, you know what? I'm not even going to mention that person's name no more. I just call him Embra. That's what Embra went up and tried to tell me. He's like, "Well, we don't care. Well, why is it when it comes to you, you're not. People have to ask you if you're Dominican." I'm like, well, guess what? Certain people are ignorant.
Mhm,
Like,
mhm.
like for example, if a person is Chinese, right, and he was born in Dominican Republic, and then the next thing, and then if they speak English, and then certain people's like, oh yeah, you're not Dominican, but yet they speak Spanish better than you, and they be like, oh, what you had, or they just want to try to disprove you because you as a person don't fit their narrative. So I've been going through that all my life in my 39 years of life. I'm saying as far as New York, but then sometimes I just
Yeah.
go with it. So I just go with the flow. And me living in Philadelphia, right? I live in North Philadelphia. I It's to the point that I see certain people, right? I mean, of the older Latino generation. When a older
Yeah.
woman sees me, right, and I'm just walking and I'm just coming out for my job and everything, I see a woman literally cross the street or literally ask a person, could you please take me right there because this man's right there waiting for me. When the fact is, I'm several feet away from the woman. I'm waiting for the bus, minding my business on the phone, but yet a woman's presence of me being a black man, I guess it's intimidating because I'm 6'4", but at the same time, I'm just minding my business and everything like that. But I've seen certain people actually walk across the street when the fact is I'm not a threat or try to present myself as a threat. And I'm like, okay, I know what's going on. I just shrug it off and that's it. And it's even to the point that you got certain bikers, I guess, who are of Latino origin that do not know that I am of Latino origin. You can see like maybe 30 of these guys looking mad at me until like maybe a friend of mine's or something like that come up and speaks to me in Spanish, and then when I speak back, they'll be having a look like, "Dag, I just messed their mind up." So
Mm.
yeah,
Mm.
I've seen that happen. I've seen that happen, and it's now that I see that certain people are with this Hispanista movement. I'm like, okay,
Mm.
I bet I want to break this down, and I don't know what, and I don't know this. Why would people, if y'all have like, okay, maybe a certain percentage of European um heritage or whatever the case may be, right? But
Mhm.
yet y'all never went to Europe. So why you
Hmm.
claim to go and say, "Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
know everything about Spain," when half the people who are actually talking about, yeah, this European, this all this stuff, never lived a day in Spain. I don't get that.
No,
I could,
I
I could,
tell them. I tell. Uh-huh.
I'm like,
Yeah, go.
I'm like, don't, yeah, I'm like, don't these same people know when you actually go to those lands, to that land, right? I'm not gonna say
Hmm.
everybody because individuals are individuals, but if you're gonna go and try to claim the land of your ancestors, which is supposed to be Spain, right?
Hmm.
But yet a Spaniard is actually telling you that you're not my people because of whatever history may be or anything like that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm trying to see why would I want to side with something. I know it's my culture or maybe part of my culture, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
But why would I side with somebody or a force that went up and ravaged some people's lands, went up and killed your
Oh
ancestors
no,
or
no,
whatever the case
they
may
don't
be?
think it happened. They don't think that happened. They think that it was all a smooth transition into Christianity, and there were no rapes and there were no invasions. It was all voluntary. There were all the Spaniards were having all of these nice marriages with the Tainas, and there were nothing was forced. There were no wars. There was all a smooth transition into who we are right now. So there was no violence. There was no bloodshed. There was no colonization. That's what the Hispanistas try to tell you. I mean, they don't believe that the colonization was real.
And to me, that's why I'm
Well,
like, okay, why is it?
excuse me.
That's why I didn't understand because I'm like, yo, it's smack dab right in the middle of your face. Half these people never been to Spain, so therefore, why you want to side with your oppressor when they don't even recognize you as a brother? That's
No,
one thing I
and
understand.
I tell
I'm,
them, I tell them all the time, like, okay, you are such a Spaniard. You really are a Spaniard. Move to Spain. Get your
thank
shit
you.
together and move to Spain.
I'm,
I mean,
I mean,
they're very quiet after that.
I mean,
Okay,
like
okay,
for
excuse
example,
me. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I just want to acknowledge the fact that Golden Goddess has joined us, and the
Thank you,
radical
Jose.
Latino,
hey,
and the
salute
Hey
radical
Golden
guys,
Goddess.
Latino has
how are you
entered the
guys?
chat.
We're
Hey,
all
go.
right.
Hey Radical, how is everyone?
Hey.
Oh, we're doing fine. Thank you.
Yeah, the
You're
bags was
radical. You my dude.
Hennessy Sphere. Yeah, yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
really quick before I wanted to end with that when it comes to these guys that are always talking about Spain and they're reminiscing about a period of time in Spain that they didn't live through because they're reminiscing about the empire where when Spain was an actual empire and they want Spain to become an empire again, which is not going to happen. What remnants of the empire remain were stamped out in 1898 by the United States. That Spain is not going to go back to being an empire. Spain is broke right now. I mean, it's a European country, but they're kind of broke. They're not
I
doing that
mean,
great.
it depends because a lot of people saying that they're broke, but then if you actually look at it now, since they're under the euro is actually higher than the United States, and
Mhm.
I'm not trying to say okay which countries under the eurozone is broke or under the austerity measures or whatever the case may be, because I used to look at it when I used to look at Deutsche Welle channel, whatever the case may be. But the
Mhm.
thing is, though, to me, is this. I mean, a lot of these, a lot of people, what they're making Spain now. I'm saying immigrants who are actually going over there and stuff. You have
Yeah,
some immigrants who are educated and they're actually making a life for themselves in Spain, and they're actually going back and forth with the Spanish passport. But then you
yeah,
got certain people or that they're illegal immigrants or whatever the case may be, will be deported from Spain, and whatever the case may be. But my thing is about these Hispanistas or anything like that. It's like, okay, like for example, a lot of these Hispanistas now, they want to say like, oh yeah, we're from Spain and everything like that. I'm like, okay, let's put it like this. I've talked to real Spaniards when they actually visit New York. I mean, once upon a time. And they're actually nice people and everything like that. But to me, it's like, okay, I know that in Spain that they have a lot of racism, whichever it is, whether it'll be against the African immigrants that live over there, or it'll be actually against Latino Americans, maybe the Central and South Americans, Cubans, Dominicans, or whatever the case may be, right?
No, no,
So,
because the immigration authorities in Spain, they're hip to the fact that there are the Hispanics that try to get there with the wrong passport. They might be from one country, but they're really from another one, and they could be having some fake forged passports. So when they're interviewing new arrivals in Spain, they talk to them, they interview them, and they listen for the accents because they already know something about the different accents, so they can have an idea of who is from where really, and they question the passports and all. I remember seeing a problem when it comes to that.
Okay, excuse me. I don't mean to cut in. I just want to give Gigi an opportunity to speak. I'm sorry. Gigi, please go ahead.
Gigi? Hey,
Gigi?
Golden. We can hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, I think she got her mic muted.
Maybe she stepped away.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry guys, I had stepped away. What I miss?
No, I
okay.
just wanted you to have an opportunity to get into the conversation because sometimes I can't even get a word in edgewise. I want to make sure you have an opportunity to speak.
Well, I'm not very knowledgeable on this subject as far as the history and stuff, so I'm actually kind of listening and learning, to be honest.
Well, actually, the real topic is we kind of strayed away from is let us bury our past. In other words, there's certain painful memories that people have not been able to, to forget.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the individual level, yes, but the thing is that that there are certain groups that you cannot tell them that. I'm not gonna say names, but there are certain groups where you cannot tell them to bury the past or forget about the past because they're gonna get offended or there is money involved when it comes to say reparations. And I'm not talking about who you think. I'm talking about another group also that has been getting reparations for decades and decades already, but that's not gonna stop anytime soon.
Who else is getting reparations?
I can't say the name because I mean there are
you don't want to demonetize the man.
Okay, so if it's the group that you can't say their name, then I have a good idea, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I just don't want to get any, repercussions from YouTube for certain.
No, there's a couple of demographics that it's best not to touch on.
Yeah, but we have to be very careful with saying names. Let's just say that they have been getting reparations, but saying that, telling them to forget about the past is gonna get them really offended, and they have a lot of power. So I'm not gonna say names, but yeah, they're getting.
Speaking of the past, Radical says, "I hold grudges. I can't forgive. Sorry, I need my payback."
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna lie.
I have Wendy Williams vibes. What the?
Because apparently because of how you say how you doing. Apparently you said it kind of like her.
This is off topic, but I did want to say earlier about when you guys were talking earlier that a lot of people on YouTube, this is entertainment, so they use very vibrant, I would say, or extreme language. So when people are just like saying stalking and harassing, like it's not always exactly the case, because like there really are real deal YouTuber stalkers and creepers out here and harassers. I just want to say that because it's easy for people to say, you know, just because somebody makes a video about you or two doesn't necessarily mean that they're harassing you or stalking you. Because there's a difference. Trust me, I know, because when it hits your real life, you'll know what the difference is.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
That's very
yeah.
true.
So, I mean, yeah. If you actually look at it, like, say, for example, let's say I'll put out a scenario. Let's say that me and my wife is walking, right, and I said certain thing to a YouTuber. So
Yeah.
a YouTuber is telling me, "Oh, I'm going to put you on my channel." I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, so what does that mean? I'm not going to watch your channel anyway. So therefore, you could put an expose. You can look at all my social media. You could do whatever the case may be. Because at the end
Yeah.
of the day, that makes you look effeminate when you
Mm-hmm.
actually focusing your energies on me, when you could have actually focused your energy on getting Maria's phone number or something like that. That's all I got to say.
That's also facts. But I'm just
Yeah,
saying, I mean, I've even been accused of being a stalker. So I'm just saying that word gets thrown around loosely on YouTube. And then when you really are being stalked, it's like nobody takes you seriously, you know?
I mean, if you actually look at the word stalking, right? Let's say this. The definition of stalking is to have surveillance when the other person is not looking, or without the person's knowledge or consent. So therefore, when a person say you're a stalker, and then they try to make it, they try to turn it around or gaslight on that you're actually this person that's obsessed with them, when the fact is they're obsessed with you, but yet they have a good power of manipulation, or they actually study sociology or whatever the case may be, to
Yeah.
actually manipulate others into believing their reality instead of yours. You have to actually watch out for that, because there's certain people who've actually went to college on how to manipulate people. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying because I've seen it, and people do it every day. So my
Mm-hmm.
thing is that if a person is using YouTube to manipulate and everything like that, when they actually gaslighting, so therefore when they putting it out there, oh yeah, you're a stalker and all this stuff, when the fact is they're actually stalking you. Because think about it, it will actually you will see the bull crap when that person knows more about you than you know more about them. And if in that case, if a person actually says what all your info and everything like that, and you have to wonder like how this person knows a lot about me when I didn't
Yeah.
even when I don't even talk to that person. Or you could be like, let's say this: I live in Burma, and this person lives in the United States. This person posts a whole post about my history, or if I'm gaslighting, or whatever the case may be, or even to the information what I'm doing in Burma, right? So you got to understand, how does that person know what I'm doing in Burma when they supposedly live in the United States? So therefore that's how you could actually reveal who's a real stalker or not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying because I've had life experiences for that matter. And you have certain people who when it comes to stalking, you have to a lot of people say, oh yeah, I'm stalking you, or whatever the case may be. One thing that you have to always do when people feel like they could stalk you, or people feel like they could go and throw threats or anything like that, I'm like, okay, throw threats. You go up to them and say this: if I ever catch you near my home, near my vicinity, near where I have my peace, you and I are going to have problems. And if they think that it's a joke, you have to actually go with extreme measures to make sure that you're not playing. You're not going to go around and mess up my peace. Well, and now that could be translated into a lot of instances, which I'm not, and some of those instances I'm not going to say, because if I did, I'll be promoting certain stuff which I'm not supposed to. But I'm just saying, as far as defending yourself from stalking and everything of that matter, you have you have to make sure that the person who's stalking you, or whatever the case may be, if they want to throw threats or anything like that, I'm like, okay, since you want to throw threats, I'm going to become your threat, basically. So therefore,
But
when I become your threat, what the heck you gonna do? You can't go throw threats to me, because that's not gonna work. You could throw whatever it is, because I'm gonna dodge them. So therefore, what you gonna really do? Nothing. And that's what a lot of these people are talking on social media, is a whole bunch of nothing. Because if these people, right, the Hispanistas, this is what I have to say. These Hispanistas, they want to say that they want to be in the forefront or whatever in the
I'm sorry, what is
ideological.
Hispanista? What
A
does that mean
Hispanic,
exactly?
a Hispanista is a group of Latino Americans that want to talk about the glory days of Spain, when the fact is that's where might have their ancestors might have lived through, but they haven't lived through. So therefore, they concede in their mind of the old glory days of the Spanish Empire, which actually ended like around the 1800s, and actually finally ended when it was the Spanish American War. So a lot of these Latin Americans, they want to come up with the glory, since they have partial or maybe certain Spanish genes within them. So they're like, yeah, we're for the Spanish crown, or we want stuff to be back in Spain, because of whatever case they want to make. Either they think that Spain is going to help them out, or whatever the case may be, or they think that, okay, these people are more economical, economically set. But the thing is, though, they're actually deceiving people into a lie, where if they were to actually go to Spain, they'll actually be treated way worse than what they actually think in their minds that they should be treated. So that's what Hispanista is, a self-deluded person that wants to believe in the grandeur of Spain or of anything European. But when the fact is, when they actually go to Europe, they actually get treated like crap.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah, we see
Yeah,
we have yeah we have a lot of delusional people on us at our side, and in fact, on my last calling, I'm not going to mention any names, but we had one individual who swore up and down was never going to appear by platform. Lo and behold, he was in the backstage, and he talked it up. He made a whole bunch of crap about how Denise
oh,
is the fake. They greet up from Bronx and all
no,
that, and I
no,
like
here we go.
drama. Okay.
Yeah. Somebody, certain somebody that Chica, that needs his meds. I mean, he was having issues, and he wanted to kind of like disrupt Don Jose's channel, but they didn't let him. Um, and come on, it's unfortunate. I personally don't have anything against him. I've had a chance in the past to talk with him, but I don't know. I don't know what's his thing right now. I mean,
Yeah. When I actually talked to that person, it was funny when it was on Radical's channel, right? And we was in the back channel or whatever the case may be. After the show. So therefore, the topic was like, if you have any if you don't like certain stuff what Radical have said. I've said certain stuff. The only thing that I didn't like with Radical, because I didn't understand the term okay, Anglo Latinos. But other than that, that was something minor. But other than that, most of the stuff that Radical Latino have been saying has been spot on. So my thing is that when it was that topic on his show, right? Person was trying to discredit me, because in his mindset he thinks that I'm an African American frauding to be a Latino, when the fact is, when I was talking to him, he went up and tried to gaslight me into saying, "Oh, I'm 40 years old," when the fact is, I'm 39. And
Yeah,
if a person,
okay.
and if a person put 1983
Mm.
to this year, 2022, you cannot get 40.
No, there is a
So
certain somebody. There is a certain somebody who keeps saying that I'm 50 years old. It's going to be a few years before I'm 50 years old. I mean, but they keep insisting. Every time they want to address me, they start talking about that I'm a 50-year-old so and so.
They
People
call
make
me
it.
a golden grandma,
I think
so they
yeah,
call
I think we're
everybody
talking about
and
the
old.
same person.
and I was accused of being racist.
I'm like,
Yeah.
how?
The,
Yes.
That's one thing I don't understand. I mean, ever since I've started on StreamYard, whether it be radical or whether it be fighters or whether it be your own or Xtina, right? Out of everybody, whenever we have our talking points, you're actually the most calm, the most I would say understanding, the most respectful of persons. And and the thing is, though, me personally, you never, you were just a guy that actually bring reason whenever we actually have an adult conversation. So when a person actually says, want to actually accuse you of being racist, you have to go and look at certain things. Either that person is a provocateur that's actually trying to provoke or try to deflect on what you're actually talking about, or that person hates your knowledge to the point that it makes them sick, that with all the negativity that they're spewing. So therefore it could actually be two of those instances.
It goes back
And
to the same thing, using inflammatory language to incite mobs,
Exactly.
and the crazy thing is he goes on my platform when you have myself and you have Denise, okay? So you're talking about you're going to pick an argument at my own home turf,
yeah. Yeah.
knowing I decide, knowing I decide who gets on and who doesn't.
It's the audacity for me.
It's like for example, right? I was up in Xtina's chat, right? I said what I said, and then you have these moderators blocking me. I'm like, come on, y'all want to disagree with me and everything like that, and you want to block me from chats just because you got the wrench? I'm like, y'all weak for real. I'm like, how weak is that? Y'all disagree with me. You want to go around and say something, but then when I say something which is contrary to you, which is with knowledge, y'all want to block me with the wrench. I'm like, stop being butthurt. This is
And,
2022. This is
and
this is
Ramon,
this is why
yeah,
Trump
and
won, because a lot of people
yeah,
were butthurt.
yeah,
Sorry,
and Ramon, and Ramon, when was the last time you ever heard me curse?
never.
Okay,
I
but
heard somebody use the analogy or whatever you want to call it, like where they say, like, as a content creator, like people want to come up in your house and shit all over your rug and then expect for you to treat them nice, And when you tell them to get the F out, then they turn psycho, they create troll channels,
That's to me. I don't have the energy for that. I mean, I did all my trolling when it was 2010, and I did it on celebrities on Twitter. I just wanted to start a fight with them, and then they respond back or whatever the case may be, and it was funny to me because I didn't really take it serious, and it was not like a whole bunch of repercussions to the point that like, oh yeah, you want to messed up my career or something like that. It wasn't that serious. But now people want to get butthurt and they want to take your whole career, and then they want to find out like, yo, do you know this person? And then they want to call your job just so you could get fired. I'm like, please. That's
If
why
you
I
Yeah,
can
put
mess
on.
the
up,
articles, they
if you
are
can,
fun. I entertain the ones that aren't evil, but yeah.
I
if
mean,
you can mess up their career, they don't have much of a career. Somebody who's just a person, a regular person, online on a platform can ruin a celebrity's career. That they don't have much of a career.
I mean, if you actually look at it, you could actually now. I'm just saying, as far as a career, maybe a person could actually have a career. Like for example, I'll use this actor for example, Isaiah Thomas, right? So I guess when he was in the set of Grey's Anatomy, he was doing whatever, right? So therefore, they kicked him off the show because I guess he had anti-LGBT views on an actor or whatever the case may be, right? That was on the show of Grey's Anatomy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I
So
remember that.
so if you actually look at it, it's like a whole bunch of people in that spectrum could actually get you fired for certain stuff of your opinions. So my thing is that when I actually put my own social media or whatever the case may be, I don't put my real name. I just put down the CEO of my own brand. And if anybody wants to say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to take you off," I'm like, "How the heck you going to take it off? I actually own my own. I actually own my own business. So therefore, bye. How the heck you could actually get somebody fired from their own business? You just can't."
Fact.
Well, you know what? This has been a fascinating discussion, and it just I never knew I was going to be running into such unique characters. But you know what?
Just
I
getting
have
started.
yes, yes.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised. I'm
I
surprised he
mean,
didn't try to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
all right. One thing I have to say to Golden Goddess, um, I'm actually enlightened by your presence and everything like that. I mean, he actually told me about you, Jose. So therefore, I would like to. I know that you're up in developing your channel, whatever the case may be. But I could actually say you got a supporter right here.
Oh, thank you so much. I listen, the way you started off, I thought you were gonna throw a butt in there. So thank you.
Mhm.
I thought you were gonna say but. Thank you.
Nah,
I appreciate it.
anytime.
Well,
That's what I was
well,
saying, you guys. Because if you type in the chat, then if you're a mod, you can just push it and it'll take you straight to their channel. So that's why I was saying, you guys type in the chat or whatever, so I can go straight to your channel. It just makes it easier. But just let us know when you're up and going, and you guys come over. Boniqua and Jose already do.
Yes,
All right.
yes. I mean, I'm trying to catch a live of yours so I can hop in. It's just that maybe I get it late and you are on a subject that I can't really elaborate much about because even though I identify with a culture, but I am racially mixed. I'm not one
Yeah.
thing. I'm a couple of different things, so I can relate to you on that. It's just that I know that I don't have the same experience though. I mean,
I
because
get it. When I'm over here, that's why I listen to you guys, because I don't know all this stuff.
Mhm, mhm.
I
No,
So
mean,
it's
anytime.
good
You're
for
welcome.
all of us.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's good. It's good that we could actually learn from each other. Oh, by the
Yeah.
way, how you doing, Terrell? Long time no talk. How's everything with you?
Oh, I'm great. It's been a while.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hey, what's going on, man?
Oh,
yes.
great.
Hello, Terrell.
Good to see y'all here. I finally get to be on here since I
Yes.
got done with my walk early.
No, that's
All
important.
right.
Okay. Well,
So
I'm just getting. I'm just getting. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I said, what's on your mind today? What's going on?
No, we was just
Well,
talking about bearing, how to deal with our past, and I also talked about certain unique characters that make their presence felt in these YouTube streets. And actually, one of them actually accused me of being a racist.
You're not racist. Who would say that about you?
well,
Uh,
it's a certain YouTuber which we're not going to mention.
Oh,
you know,
okay,
okay, you
well,
know, okay, you know what, Terrell? If you catch my stream on Sunday on the shout out for Father's Day, Father's Day for the fathers, you will discover who is the individual in question.
okay.
And I'm just
I
gonna leave it
mean,
at that.
That's just
got you.
somebody that's just hating and trying to start mess on here.
All
Yeah,
right, so
Zacharias is just kind of wilded out. He's wilded out, you know. I
yeah,
don't know how
I
to say
mean,
that in a way that I don't want to offend anybody, but I mean, he's crazy, you know.
if you actually look at it and everything like that, one thing that I'm just gonna say is that a person's unhealthy obsession will reveal their stupidity.
Yeah, yeah. Like they can't move past that, and again, these guys are dangerous. Those that get obsessed, nothing good can come out of it. And we were just
I'm
talking
like,
about
I'm
the
like, I'm,
incels, you
I'm
know.
like, okay, I'm just gonna put a little bit of my personal life here, and this is how I'm gonna tell you how unwise certain people are. Now, I'm a married man now, but on the days before I got married, right, in my job, there was a Dominican female that was always on my back, but I always curved her, meaning that I don't want nothing to do with you because you bring a bad presence. And on top of it, all you want to do is whenever I maybe get a promotion, not promotion, but like say if I get certain stuff like uh for being on time or anything like that, they're like, hey Poppy, do you want to give me some money? I'm like, no, you work the same job as I do, so why the heck should I give you money? You go on trying to say like in that type of nature. So when
Chapeadora.
so when I went up and I always curved this chick, right? And whatever. I got hate from a guy who is obsessed with this chick, right? So imagine a guy who is so obsessed with the female, he starts to beef with me just because I curved her. And he sees that I curved her. But the thing is though, the guy is so obsessed with the female, remind you, the female does not speak his language, does not know that he actually exists. But yeah, he's beefing with several Latino males in my job over this female just because they, in his mind, he thinks that a Latino male is supposed to go and give him the information on how to get a female. When the fact is, if I'm just saying, as far as Latinos or anything like that, a Latino man is not going to go around and put a Latina woman in danger over a foreigner or whatever the case may be. You know what I'm trying to say? So my thing is that this guy, he starts this whole thing, and this is how he actually starts his disagreements. He tried to call me out of my name, try to call me anti-LGBT slur, and try to call me out of my manhood. And throughout, and it's been going on for a year. And me and him, we actually clashed into the job to the point that I almost punched him in his face.
Mm.
So my things is that as far as this guy, with all his threats and everything like that, where I actually work in my job and stuff, it's getting to the point that this guy have been thrown out in certain locations just because of his antics and his disregard for other people as far as their time or trying to find information about them, which nobody really cares about. And certainly, how should I say, he's just being a douchebag with everything. So with that said, the guy's unhealthy obsession comes that he actually went up and made a Telegram chat room, right? And whoop de doo, he went up and put his whole home address. I'm like, you got
What?
a whole bunch of people that do not like you at all for all the antics that you do. You have the nerve to put in your home address where you live at. Anybody could just knock in your door and just get at you.
Okay,
Like,
that obviously not too smart.
thank you. So therefore, that's why I'm saying, like, people's unhealthy obsession. You went up and made a whole chat dedicated to a woman that does not know that you exist, and you put your whole home address on Telegram. Like,
Incel,
who does that?
incel, hella incel, super incel. Hmm.
Like, that's why I had to call him, because the guy, he wants, it's like, okay, when we're teenagers or whatever the case may be, right? Was like, yeah, we get
Mhm.
all the females, or get whatever. I'm 39. The guy's 38, and you still talking about that, and women just laugh at you. So therefore, if I'm at a point that I'm in my 30s or 40s or anything like that, at the end of the day, if you're a man, a heterosexual man, right? Who cares about how many females you've been with? Are you? I want to hear. You got how many houses you got? How much you doing for the community? I don't want to care about how many females you got, because anybody. I'm just saying, in this matter, you could get a female. You could actually go and show money, and you're like, yeah, you got a female. But guess what? If you have nothing of substance, why all these females are leaving you? If you're getting females, there's something must be wrong. That's all I got to say. So,
Oh,
but I'm just saying, as far as where I'm going back, that a person's unhealthy obsession will make you do stupid things. That's what happened with one of these guys, and I'm like,
That's why it's dangerous.
I'm like I'm like, this guy is just borderline unwise, and you went and made a whole channel for that female, and you put your home address right there, and I just happened to just be on Telegram, just being like near a location, and then whoop, it pops up. I'm like, I had to. Me and my friends was actually joking about it. I'm like, how stupid can you be?
Yeah.
Like, for real.
Yeah.
well,
That's just, they're not thinking. I mean,
yeah, yeah. Well,
the
you know
level of
what?
incel,
It,
the level of incel is out there. I mean, it's off the chart.
It- it-
well,
I'm like, I'm
well,
like, it's to
well.
the point that I know another incel in my job. I'm like, he's cool, whatever the case may be. But the thing is, though, I guess he likes playing games or whatever the case may be. And certain people, they're like, oh yeah, he went hard on this female, but yet some of these guys' friends or whoever being like, I guess, on the internet console or whatever the case may be, when they actually talking to each other online or whatever, they said that this guy, while he was going so hard on this female that he said he didn't like, and to certain people, they're like, okay, this female's ugly. It looked like that this guy was going so hard on this female, insulting her and whatever the case may be. The reason why he did that, because he got rejected. He got rejected when he actually went and started playing how shall I say, pocket pool with himself in front of this female on camera. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
At this point, let me tell you something. It's been real, but we do have to start to wrap it up, because I am not going to do a 9-hour stream. What?
That
Got
would have been
it.
hilarious because you were talking about it in the beginning. That would have been so funny.
Yeah.
Because I know people have lives. Okay.
Oh,
So what we're gonna do? So
Jose. I'm gonna be
yes.
I'm gonna be in New York. I'm gonna be in New York this weekend. I mean, I don't know if we could meet up or stuff, or we could actually do a stream yard. But I got a good how shall I say, a good topic. How to spot an incel, and what can we do with this problem, on how to protect not only ourselves, but maybe the women in our lives. I think that would be a good topic.
Well, you know what you can
He said,
do.
or maybe
You
the
can,
women.
you know what you can do. You can message me on Facebook Messenger, and we can plan something. So what I'm gonna
I
do
mean,
is
yeah.
That
so what
does
I'm
sound
gonna do.
interesting.
So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take find a win box. And I find it amazing that we still have 8 people viewing the stream, and we actually got 13 likes. I just want to say thank you very much. I mean, I'm amazed with the
All
amount
right.
of love I've gotten from all of you. So
Yeah.
now we're going to take closing remarks. Now, I just want to be before I let the intro of Boricua make his final remarks. I'm going to ask everybody, if you have not done so, please subscribe to the intro of Boricua, like, hit the bell notification to also whenever he does prepare material, you will be notified and you'll have an opportunity to share in this content. So, the intro of Boricua, your final remarks.
Yes, sir. The first thing I wanted to say is that I appreciate you letting me on your panel. Appreciate it. It was a good stream. This is a good stream, even though we did kind of deviate from the subject. It was more serious. It was more somber. So it did got into something that is also timely when it comes to certain types that are kind of like they're not kind of they're just plain crazy, and they have problems, and they need to get an actual life, because there are some of the YouTube types, those that are harassing. I wouldn't say stalking, because Armando was already gave us a definition of stalking, but harassing is a thing. It's cyber
Yeah.
harassing, and that's something that can turn into something serious. And um, when it comes to these incels, that the only way that they can talk to a woman is by harassing, and by being bothered, and by coming up and telling lies about people, which is something I've had to deal with myself. And again, they're dangerous. They're dangerous. I mean, they're a menace, to say the least. And but on the previous subject, when it comes to keeping things in perspective, when it comes to the past and what we can learn from it, and using it as use the lessons from it for the future. That, I think, is something that everybody should do. Not necessarily forget, but not being stuck there in the past. Move forward. Learn from the past, but move forward. That's the way we progress, and that's how we get better. And that's basically it. So again, Don Jose, appreciate you having me. It's nice to talk to you again, Armando, Terrell, Golden.
Gracias.
It's good to see you up
To see
here.
you again. Come back.
Yes, yes. I mean, maybe I'll talk to you a little bit on the backstage. So I'll be there for a little bit. So maybe I'll talk to you in a minute. So
Okay, thank
that's it. That's
okay,
all.
thank you. Okay, thank you very much.
Bye. I'm gonna get
Okay,
down
so
too, Jose. Thank you for having me on, and I had a good
okay,
time.
okay, so let me just let you have your final words, Gigi. And before, if you have not done so, please subscribe to Golden Goddess's channel. Go ahead.
Thank you, Jose. I just want to say bye to everybody, and thank you for having me on. I had a good time, and this was a fun panel, and it's only up from here for your channel. And it was nice to meet you also, Terrell. And bye, everybody.
Well, nice to meet you
Bye.
too.
Have a nice day.
You too. Bye bye.
Okay, so
Bye, Jose.
bye. I'll be looking forward to your next stream, whatever it may be. Maybe okay.
Okay,
So
thank you.
take care.
I would like
So
to say, Don Jose, that it was a
yes.
pleasure being on your channel. I mean, being on your channel, I have a new perspective on certain things. Even though that today is a painful day for me, one thing I have to actually say that it was, even though we segued from the topic, that you, 18th, um, introvert Boricua, Terrell for a lesser part, and Golden Girl, it was a good time talking to y'all. It made me feel at ease and everything like that. And I would like to actually have more inputs and or insightful input into your channels, or what, or whenever you have a show, Don Jose. I
Mhm.
gladly appreciate it. and I actually respect this channel and respect you as a person. So have a good night, sir.
Come
Thank
back
you very
again.
much.
Let's see.
So, of course, if you want to stay, you can stay for the backstage. Not, I understand. So, in any case,
Got you.
I'm gonna put you. Okay.
Well, Jose, I'm glad to be on here. It was a good night. And I'm going to try to come around more often when I'm not busy. Because I realize you don't stay on the live streams for long. But to me, it's good to bury your past and move on and learn from your mistakes. Sometimes you just look back at it, see what you did wrong, correct your errors, and move past. But it's been a nice live stream. It's good to have everyone here because I feel like this live stream is more peaceful and friendlier, and you don't have all that arguing and fighting like the other live streams and arguing and trolls. People coming here want to disrupt, interrupt the live streams and change the topic. But yeah, I can deal with this because the other ones be too much. But I like it here and everything.
Well, one thing I try to do is I try to create a peaceful, safe place for everyone to share their views, and everyone's views are respected and welcome. So thank you very much. So I'm going to put you in the backstage. If you can stay, stay. If not, there'll be other
I'm going to try
streams.
staying.
Okay, so I'm going to put you in the backstage. Now, I'm going to give you my final words. The fact of the matter is, at times we are haunted by the past, but we have to learn the lessons and just move forward. Unfortunately, for some people, it is easier than others. But the worst thing you can do is keep living the past, particularly if they have painful memories. I just want to thank everybody who appeared on the chat. There were so many. I don't want to start naming people because I don't want to forget anybody. I just want to show my appreciation for those who are on the panel, Introvert Ridicua, Don Armando, Taro, and Gigi. So this Sunday at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, 3 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, and 5 o'clock Central Standard Time, the topic will be who's winning the battle of the sexes. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a discussion on how it actually got started and why are we having this battle. It's going to be interesting, I believe. And again, I just want to appreciate all the love and support I've gotten. I'm going to ask if you have not done so. Excuse me, please subscribe to my channel, like, and hit the bell notification to all. Excuse me. So therefore, whenever I do prepare content, you'll have the opportunity to catch it live or catch it on the playback. That being said, if you wish to leave a comment after the stream, you're more than welcome. And I just want to say thank you for all those who catch my stream on the playback. Now, of course, I'm going to close the same way I always close. Do not let the errors of the past damage your future. And we must do everything possible to minimize our contact with the mentally and intellectually challenged, because if we fail to do so, we will be infected by their stupidity and massive insanity. And I thank you very much for allowing me to enter into your devices. This has been another episode of Uncommon Sense with Jose Negron, and I just want to wish you all a very blessed, peaceful night. Take care.
Be strong.